Hi, this is Lokesh Verma from Tattoos, and today we'll learn something new about tattooing with Best for Him. My journey started in 2003 when I first saw someone having a tattoo. I was a DJ before this, so I was into a lot of alternative subcultures. I was never the best student, but I was always into alternative things. So, like every other teenager, I had no idea what to do with my life and my career. And I was doing, as I told you, a lot of small time jobs and also DJing. And I saw someone with a tattoo and I was fascinated with it. And that was the time I wanted to, know more about tattooing, get it on me. And probably I could always draw a little bit. So I wanted to do it also. Basically, I wanted to try it, how this thing is done. So it was not a plan that I'll become a tattoo artist. I just wanted to know more about this. It was very intriguing. I was very curious to know about it, and that's how it started. And I had a little bit of money saved from my profession, whatever small-time jobs I was doing. So I bought the first tattoo machine just to try it on myself. And this was the actually first piece that I did on myself. And my friends saw it and they wanted it. So I started. In fact, I started doing tattoos for free because I wanted to do it so much. In fact, initially no one wanted it, so I convinced my friends, please get a tattoo from me. And they did it, and then slowly their friends wanted it, so I started charging everyone a little bit, and that's how it started rolling from there slowly and gradually. And by the time I was doing my MBA, so I was doing an internship for a year with a company in an export house, and in that 1 year I was sure that this is what I don't want to do. So I put more focus on tattooing, and just by working on the weekends and just by working in the nights, I started earning maybe twice the money then I was doing it in my job. But money was not the point. The thing was, I was tattooing for free before that, so I just wanted to do it anyhow. And when this thing started to bring me money also, so I don't have to do another thing for survival, that was the time I thought I'll quit my job and do this full time. The major inspiration, see, I could draw a little bit, but that does not mean, I never thought that painting can be a career. I did not even think tattooing can be a career, but I just wanted to do it, and people wanted. There was barely one or few traveling visiting artists in Delhi and Goa that time, in 2003 I'm talking about. So when I started getting more and more response for this different art, and of course it's cool, it's much cooler than just a painting hanging in your wall. And I was a DJ, so I was inspired by a lot of metal bands and rock bands and a lot of hip hop artists who had tattoos. So this was something very different from a normal painting. Also, there is no eraser in this, so there is not forgiving. You cannot make any mistakes, so it was very challenging. And while if you paint a canvas, I can just do it and leave it for a month and do it again. It won't ask me to finish it. Here you have to do it within a time frame, cannot make mistakes. This was very challenging, that's why I took it up. Major roadblocks was to find the clients, because when I started there was no industry as such. Like a tattoo studio did not used to exist in India. Maybe there were few foreigners visiting Goa who used to tattoo in a shack, but there was no tattoo studios like we have salons or restaurants now, or that time. Tattoo studio was not a profession. So first of all, my parents were like, what is this profession and how many people will get tattooed every day? Someone might get tattooed today, they will not come back for another 1 month or 1 year. People don't get tattoos every day basically. It's once in their life, or 2, 3, 4 times in their lifetimes. So where will you get the clients from? That was one concern. But fortunately, we are blessed with 1.3 billion people. And even if 1% of those people want tattoos, then I have big enough market that I cannot tattoo them in my lifetime. And that proved to be right, because initially when I started, I used to do like 4 or 5 tattoos in a month. Every weekend, 1 or 2 tattoos. And when it started growing, and now we have 3 studios and a team of 20 people, we do like 20, 30 tattoos every day. So that was the apprehension in the beginning, but I think if you're good in something, you automatically find your way. And if you're mediocre and if you're not so good, then you will have excuses and you will not do so well in anything, not only in tattooing. So you have to be crazy about something to achieve the pinnacle of that industry, or to be in the list of one of the best. And for that, you have to dedicate a lot of time and effort, and you have to basically put more effort than anyone else who's doing the same thing. When I started tattooing professionally in 2005 in Vasant Vihar, 2003 to 2005, I was just passing my time tattooing at my house or my friend's place. But 2005 in Vasant Vihar, we opened a small studio, and then a lot of youngsters wanted to get it done, and few of them wanted to learn it also. Like me, they were also curious. So Amar, who's still working with us, he's one of my first students since 14 years. I think 2007 he learned from me, and he just came to me like, I want to learn, and there's no institute as such. So I was like, yeah, I can teach you, and I taught him, and then I taught few others. I've taught hundreds of students till now in the last 18 years of my career, and it's not something which I planned as a business. It's very organic growth, very natural growth. People right now also, I don't take more than 4 students in a batch, because then we cannot give undivided attention to them. It's not like 50 students sitting in a classroom. So it's a very hands-on apprenticeship kind of an approach, where they sit in the studio. You see them handling the phone also. You see them talking to the clients also. They're working in a 100% real environment, not sitting in a class and writing down the theory. So that's why I take 4 students in every batch, and the course goes for 4 months. And in 4 months they learn basics and a little bit of advanced, and it only comes with time. It's not like in 4 or 6 months I can teach you and you can start tattooing like what I am doing, because even I was not doing it in the first few years of my career. But at least they have guidance. I had no guidance. I'm completely self-taught. I did not even know how to put the needle in the machine, so everything I had to figure it out myself. But just to help students like them, who are to fast track them, to tell them which is the right needle to use for which lining, for shading. That was the reason why I started teaching them. Smaller tattoos heal up faster because they are just line work and there's not so much of work in it. So small tattoos are like a small scratch on your hand. They heal up within 3 to 5 days, maximum a week. The kind of work that I do is mostly colored portraits and realism, which is one of the toughest form of tattooing, because it's someone's face and it's in color. Black and gray is still easier, but color is like the next level. So that is what I try to concentrate on and specialize in more and more every day. And that is the only thing I do. But the thing is, the human body takes whatever time it needs to take to heal. So if you get a wound, a small scratch, it heals up within 5 days to a week. If you get a bigger scratch or a rash or something big, it's like you working on the skin with the needle, and it's more like the needle goes 1 mm deep inside your skin. So it's that small scratch, but at a bigger area. So it's not like it's very deep. So it does not take, surprisingly, it does not take as much time for bigger tattoos also to heal, but maximum 2 weeks. So 10 to 15 days, all the scabbing and everything dries up and peels off on its own. And 2 weeks, I think, is the maximum time for any size of tattoo to heal. So sound wave tattoos are like, they're like very unique waves of sound in a pattern. If you have seen a sound wave on a computer screen, it's more like a graphical representation of how you speak, the pitch, low and high and low. And we translate that graphic into a tattoo design by outlining it, placing it, the stencil on the skin. And it's very unique, because if I say something and you say something, the sound waves, the graph that will come out will be different, because everyone's voice is different. So every sound wave is unique. We trace that unique sound wave, and there's an app through which you can scan that sound wave, which you can get tattooed. When you scan from the phone, it will play the sound of whoever sound you want. So you have to give us the recording. We will make the sound. So we'll create the sound wave of that particular person's voice, tattoo it on you. So whenever you scan that tattoo from your phone, the phone will play the sound of your loved one. It can be your mother, father, girlfriend, wife, even your dog. Does not matter. So if someone has an unwanted tattoo, there are 2 ways about it. They can either get the laser removal done, or they can get a cover-up. Cover-up is like getting a tattoo covered up with a bigger design. So if you have a name, you can make some design like a wolf or a tiger, and camouflage that old design into it, and we rework over it. So that can be done. Otherwise, some people, due to some reasons, don't want the tattoo at all. So we can remove it also. And the latest technology of removal is pico laser. And this, we had the first pico laser machine in Delhi, and it's quite successful. Even I've got these 2 stars here. I had them, and I removed them myself. And one of my friend in Sweden, I saw him doing it, and then when I came back to India, I also got the machine and removed it. So it's pretty safe, and I don't talk about others, but if we do it, there are no scars left. There's no marks left on the body if we do it through pico laser. There are some old technologies which some skin clinics are using, and I've seen people with severe burn marks with those clinics while doctors are doing it. So don't just go to a skin clinic just because they are doctors. Ask them for their healed result. Don't ask, because a lot of people show you Photoshop pictures also. So better to go personally and see some results. If they have some clients, they can talk to the clients. So I always encourage people to come here and see my tattoo removal. And few of our artists are also getting tattoos removed. So they've also been completely removed. So we can show the videos, pictures, and they can speak to the artist. So Heartwork Tattoo Festival is the name self-explanatory. Tattoo Festival is a tattoo convention because everywhere in the world there is, every city, every country, in fact every city in the US or Europe, every major city has their own convention. Frankfurt, London, in US every city has their own convention. In India there was not even a single convention. Convention is like a trade fair, but every booth is occupied by tattoo artists, tattoo equipment suppliers, laser technicians, and all these companies related to tattooing. And what they do is you can come over and see hundreds of tattoos. Now every artist has a different style of tattooing, so you can see them working over there. And if you want, say, a floral tattoo, so maybe an artist does floral work, maybe someone does black and gray, maybe someone does portrait. So you can choose your artist according to the style of tattoo that you want and get it done over in the convention. And we started it because no one just walks into a tattoo studio. People are a little afraid of walking into tattoo studios. So convention is like a mega fair where people can just walk in with their families and see everyone getting tattooed. And when they see everyone getting tattooed, they become more comfortable with the idea of getting tattooed. They inquire with the artist. So that is just to educate the people. We started this convention. Tattoos used to be something only for bikers or thugs and these kind of people, sailors or hardcore gangsters maybe. But I think if you look around the crowd that is walking in right now in the studio, 65% of our clients are females. So that perception has gone. In fact, from doctors to lawyers, everyone. In fact, my father-in-law, who's a doctor, at the age of 70, he got his first tattoo done. So that negative image which was associated with it, because tattooing originated from there basically. But before that, we used to have tattoos in our tradition. The modern tattooing evolved from there, but the older traditional tattooing, my maternal grandfather, he used to have a big Krishna tattoo on his thigh. So it was always there in our culture. But then when it came again from the West, it had some negative influence with the skulls and the flames and all these things. But I think more and more people are becoming acceptable of it, unless you don't have a big tattoo which is of course distracting. That is not too professional. But if you see, all my tattoos are always hidden under my clothes, and this is the biggest form of expression that you can have. This, you don't need to say it. If your tattoo can tell you what kind of a person. If I see your tattoo, I can tell you what kind of a person you are. So this is the biggest form of self-expression, and mostly a lot of women, men, and all sorts of all age group of people are getting into it. So that taboo is not there anymore. It used to be there, but I think people are becoming more and more understanding that this is just a form of self-expression. No, there is nothing like that. People get tattoos everywhere. There are people in India also. We have some people who have, from head to toe, they are tattooed. Some tattoo enthusiasts and tattoo collectors. So there are no places like that. When it comes to tattooing, there is no trend. People usually, every year I get phone calls from these newspapers and magazines that what are the upcoming tattoo trends of 2022. You have to understand that this is not a trend, because trend is something which is in today and it will be out tomorrow. But you cannot just very easily remove your tattoo every year. This is something which, again, I told you, is a form of self-expression. So this is something which you believe in, something that is very close to you. It can be the name or the photo or portrait of your loved ones, or something religious which symbolizes your faith, something related to spirituality, something related to your passion, maybe traveling or biking, whatever it is. So it's just a form of self-expression, and so it cannot have a trend. Now, if I say, the biking tattoos are a trend, not everyone will start getting a motorbike on them. Only people who love that field will get those kind of tattoos. So there is nothing like trends in tattoos, because it is passion, it is not fashion. There are a lot of myths around tattoos. First being that tattoos can cause you HIV or hepatitis or cancer, which is absolutely not true, because all the inks that we are using are vegan, organic. They are made in USA, where there are very strict tattoo standards. They are being sold in EU, European Union, where there are even stricter standards than USA. Every ink is tested for chemicals or metals, and the inks that we are using has no chemical, no metal. Only organic pigments are there, with some glycerin or some watering to water it down. There are some agents which are all natural. So the inks are pretty safe. The needles that we use are sterile, one-time use. They come from Germany. Shane Tattoo Equipments is the best company, and we use only those needles. So those needles are there, one-time use. They are pre-sterilized like an injection in a packet. You use it and you throw it after one-time use. Everything else, there are 20 other things apart from these two things which touches your skin. Everything that we use is either disposable or one-time use. So if it's touching your skin, it has never touched someone else's skin, be it the gloves, be it the tissue paper, be it the dental bib on which we keep the equipments. Every wire and everything is not touched by the artist, because they are all covered with disposable barrier films or plastic bags. So it's as safe as it can be, probably more safer than a lot of hospitals around here. And we take the strictest, because I've worked in 17 countries myself, and I work in Europe every year since 2010. So I make sure that we apply those standards in our studio here. Whenever someone is thinking of their first tattoo, they're very confused usually. But I always tell them that close your eyes and think about what you want the most. There might be 5 things, which is the one thing which is popping out again and again. Just get that thing done. Because a lot of people, they ask their friends or family, and the friends and family will only advise. Say, I'll ask you, you will only advise me what you like, not what I like, right? He will only advise me what they like. So you should not ask anyone whenever you want a tattoo. Think about it yourself. And people who, your friends, they might have one tattoo, so don't think that they're tattoo experts. They got something which they like, so you should also choose something which you like and just get it done. Before you get a tattoo done, say the day before, the night before your tattoo session, you should not drink alcohol, because alcohol makes your blood thin. And if your blood is thin, you'll bleed out more. Normally there is no bleeding in tattooing, maybe a drop or two, but if someone is drunk, we don't tattoo drunk people, but if someone did drink alcohol the night before, then they bleed usually more. If you're on blood thinners, then you should avoid till the time you're not on blood thinners. You should avoid that. You should, before coming to a tattoo session, you can, have a good meal, keep yourself hydrated so that you don't feel dizzy or something like that, nauseated. And it's a very superficial process where the needle just enters your skin 1 mm. So it's not something like a surgery or anything. So and normally a small tattoo takes between 30 to 45 minutes. So it's pretty quick process. And something, you get small or medium size in your first session, you will come to know, and then you can always extend the tattoo. Why do people get tattoos? Well, I cannot speak for everyone, but I'll speak for myself. I got tattoos because, first of all, I was into arts. So this is, and this is again, as I already told you, this is a form of self-expression. So I can express myself through art, through my own art, or maybe an artist that I like. I want to wear their art. Not all tattoos need to be meaningful. Some tattoos are just decorative. Like those old tribal tattoos, you don't belong to a tribe, so there's no point in getting it, but people still get it done because aesthetically they flow with the body, they look cool. And this is just like an ornament you wear, but this is something that you love and you wear it forever. So this is one reason why people get tattoos. Second thing is, of course, you have plenty of skin. What are you gonna do with it? It's just lying there without any, just beautify it. So that is another reason why I get my tattoos done. Third reason is to show the love. Like I told you, I have a portrait of my wife, portrait of my son here. So I can always see them whenever I want to, and just to show my love towards them. So these 3-4 reasons, and of course they look cool than having no tattoos. So these are the few reasons then that's why people get it done.